Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Mark, and today's episode might just save your bones, your heart, and even your sleep. If you're over 50 and you've been taking supplements like magnesium glycinate, vitamin D3, and K2, there's something you need to hear. These are fantastic nutrients, but the way they're being combined is often completely wrong.
Exactly. I've had so many older patients come to me saying, Barbara, I'm doing everything right. I'm taking my D3, I've added K2 and even magnesium glycinate, but I'm still waking up tired, my muscles cramp at night, and my blood pressure's gone up. That's when I ask them, how and when are you taking them?
We see this all the time. These nutrients are powerful tools, but just like with medicine, timing and pairing matter. Think of it like cooking. Even the best ingredients will taste terrible if you throw them all in at the wrong time. Magnesium is deeply relaxing. D3 is energizing and needs fat. K2, it needs direction. It's not just what you take, it's how you take it. And especially for seniors, the wrong combination can lead to side effects that doctors often misread. Excess calcium buildup, constipation, insomnia, or even palpitations. We've both seen cases where the body had everything it needed, but still malfunctioned because the nutrients were competing with each other.
So in this podcast, we're going to break it all down. What each nutrient does, why they matter more after age 50, why some people feel worse on this super combo, and most importantly, how to use them correctly for real results. We'll also go over who should avoid taking them together, how to space them out during the day, and what food pairings actually enhance their absorption. These aren't just tips, they're necessary if you want to stay sharp, mobile, and pain-free.
So if you've been told, just take all three, or you've been mixing them into your morning routine without thinking, stick around. This could be the most important correction you make this year. And if you know someone taking these together blindly, please share this with them now. And if you enjoy the stories on the Barbara O'Neill podcast, please leave us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to receive the latest videos. Let's start with vitamin D3, often called the sunshine vitamin. For people over 50, this nutrient is essential. It boosts calcium absorption, supports immune function, improves mood, and helps regulate inflammation. But here's the twist. It's also a hormone. That means it can influence many processes in your body, not just your bones.
And when used incorrectly, it can actually cause harm. I've seen patients take high doses of D3 daily thinking more is better. But when they don't pair it properly, especially with K2 and magnesium, problems start showing up. We're talking about calcium deposits in arteries, kidney strain, joint stiffness, even fatigue or anxiety. That's because vitamin D3 increases calcium absorption from your intestines into your bloodstream. If there's no K2 guiding that calcium to the bones or magnesium keeping the muscles relaxed, the excess calcium can end up in the wrong places like blood vessels, kidneys, or soft tissues.
Exactly. That's why I never recommend D3 alone, especially for seniors. The older we get, the more sensitive we become to imbalances. Your body doesn't process or store nutrients the same way it did at 30. So taking 4,000 IU of D3 without proper guidance is like pushing a car engine too hard without oil. Plus, D3 is stimulating. It's best taken earlier in the day, preferably in the morning, and always with a source of fat. That could be eggs, avocado, or even a spoon of olive oil. This helps with absorption and prevents that jittery, restless feeling some people get when they take D3 too close to bedtime. And here's another tip. Always monitor your D levels with a blood test. The ideal range is usually between 50 and 70 ng/ml. Anything too low increases fracture risk. Too high, and you could feel tired, weak, or develop calcium overload, especially if K2 and magnesium are missing from your routine.
So to sum up, vitamin D3 is essential, but only when paired properly. It needs fat to be absorbed, it needs K2 to guide the calcium, and it needs magnesium to relax muscles and protect tissues. You're not just taking a vitamin, you're managing a system.
If there's one vitamin that gets constantly overlooked, it's K2. Most people hear about calcium, magnesium, even D3, but they've never been told how critical K2 is for bone strength, especially as we age, and that's a huge blind spot in how we approach bone health today.
I agree completely. Without K2, taking D3 and calcium is like sending construction materials to a building site, but with no workers to put them in the right place. K2 is that worker. It directs calcium away from your arteries and into your bones, exactly where it belongs.
Right. And here's what's surprising. Even if you're getting enough calcium, your bones can still weaken if K2 is missing. I've seen bone density scans improve dramatically in older patients just by adding this one nutrient. It's small, but it does a very big job behind the scenes. What many people don't realize is that after 50, your body's ability to activate certain proteins, like osteocalcin, which locks calcium into bones, depends on K2. Without it, the calcium floats around and gets stuck in places like arteries or kidneys. That's when you start seeing plaque buildup or kidney stones. And the scary part is, we don't get much K2 from a typical Western diet. It's found in fermented foods like natto, hard cheeses, and certain animal fats. But most people don't eat those regularly. That's why supplements are often necessary, especially if you're already taking D3.
Exactly. I usually recommend about 90 to 120 micrograms of K2 daily, preferably in the MK7 form. It lasts longer in the body and works more efficiently. And remember, it's fat soluble, so always pair it with a healthy fat source like eggs, nuts, or avocado to ensure absorption. And just like with D3, timing matters. K2 can be taken during breakfast or lunch, not too late in the evening. Some people do fine with it at night, but for others, it may interfere slightly with sleep if taken in high doses.
The big message here is this: don't treat nutrients in isolation. Bone health is a team effort. Calcium, D3, magnesium, and K2 all work together. Leave one out and the system can break down, especially as we get older. So far, we've seen how vitamin D3 boosts calcium absorption and how K2 makes sure that calcium ends up in the bones, not the arteries. But there's another crucial player that holds it all together: magnesium, and not just any form of magnesium. Today, we're focusing on magnesium glycinate. Magnesium glycinate is one of the most absorbable and gentle forms, especially for older adults. It doesn't irritate the stomach, and more importantly, it crosses the blood-brain barrier, which makes it excellent for calming the nervous system. That's why people report better sleep and fewer muscle cramps when they take it consistently.
Exactly. Think of magnesium as the conductor of the whole orchestra. While D3 and K2 handle the calcium traffic, magnesium ensures your muscles relax properly, your heart rhythm stays stable, and your body gets into deep restorative sleep. Without enough magnesium, your body may stay in a state of tension, both physically and mentally. And here's something people often miss: magnesium activates hundreds of enzymes in the body, including ones that help build protein and repair muscle tissue. For seniors struggling with muscle loss or weakness, magnesium glycinate at night can actually support overnight recovery and tissue rebuilding.
That's so important because many people think poor sleep is just part of aging. But when you give the body what it needs, like magnesium, the quality of sleep improves dramatically. And with that comes better muscle strength, more stable energy, and less nighttime pain. I usually recommend 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate in the evening, around 30 to 60 minutes before bed. It's not a sedative. It simply helps the body switch from fight or flight mode into rest and repair. And when paired with protein or collagen-rich foods, it enhances nighttime muscle regeneration.
Some people worry about loose stools with magnesium. That's more common with forms like citrate or oxide. Glycinate is much gentler, especially when taken with a small snack like a banana or a handful of almonds. And again, consistency is key. One night won't change much, but give it 10 to 14 days and you'll feel the shift. And magnesium also enhances the function of both D3 and K2. So when all three are in balance and taken correctly, you're building stronger bones, repairing muscles, and calming the nervous system all in one.
So now that we've explored the power of vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium glycinate on their own, it's time we address the biggest mistake people are making, and that's taking all three of them at the same time.
Yes, and it sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? These nutrients are all essential, but when you take them together, especially in one big pill or supplement pack, they can actually compete for absorption. Your body doesn't absorb all vitamins and minerals equally or simultaneously. There's a natural rhythm to how they work.
Exactly. Let's take magnesium, for example. It tends to interfere with the absorption of both vitamin D and calcium. So if you take magnesium glycinate at the same time as vitamin D3, you might be reducing the effectiveness of both. It's like trying to pour three different liquids into a small funnel all at once. Some of it will just spill over. And with K2, the problem gets even trickier. This vitamin works best when D3 has already increased the calcium levels in the blood. But if you take D3, K2, and magnesium all at once, the body hasn't had a chance to activate that sequence. It's like trying to build a house while pouring the foundation, placing the walls, and installing the roof all at the same time.
That's a great analogy. So, what should people do instead? The key is to stagger the timing. Take vitamin D3 and K2 earlier in the day, preferably after a meal that contains healthy fats like eggs or avocado toast. These fats help with absorption, and your body will use the daylight cycle to process vitamin D more efficiently. Then magnesium glycinate should come in the evening, ideally 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime. That way, it won't interfere with D3 or K2, and it supports deep sleep and muscle repair. This timing also matches your body's natural circadian rhythm. Repair and rebuilding happen at night.
It's a simple change, but incredibly powerful. We've seen patients go from restless sleep, leg cramps, and fatigue to sleeping soundly and waking up refreshed just by changing when they take their supplements, not what they take.
And for anyone over 50, this really matters. As we age, nutrient absorption slows down. So giving your body the right conditions, spacing out these vitamins, gives you a better chance to actually use them, not just pass them through your system.
Now that we've uncovered why taking all three at once is a mistake, let's get practical. What's the right way to use vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium glycinate for real results, especially for people over 50?
The key is sequencing and timing. These nutrients don't need to fight each other if you simply give your body time to absorb them properly. Let's begin with the morning. After breakfast, that's the ideal time for vitamin D3. It works best when taken with some fat like eggs, olive oil, or even a spoon of nut butter.
That's because D3 is fat soluble, and when it enters the bloodstream in the morning, it mimics your natural circadian rhythm. Morning light signals your body to use D3 for energy production, calcium metabolism, and immune support. Now, right alongside D3, you can take vitamin K2. Just make sure it's in the MK7 form. This form lasts longer in the body, so it complements D3 beautifully. K2 acts like a traffic cop, directing calcium into the bones and away from arteries.
Together, D3 and K2 in the morning lay the foundation. But magnesium, that's a nighttime mineral. You want to take magnesium glycinate about 30 to 60 minutes before bed. It calms your nervous system, relaxes your muscles, and enhances the quality of deep restorative sleep. And remember, magnesium also activates over 300 enzymatic processes, including protein synthesis and muscle repair. So taking it at night helps your body rebuild tissue while you rest.
To recap, morning after breakfast, vitamin D3 plus vitamin K2, night before bed, magnesium glycinate. You can set an alarm or leave your vitamins in separate places, bathroom for morning, bedside for evening, to make the habit easier. And if you're taking any medications, always space them at least 1 to 2 hours from these supplements. We've talked about the science, the timing, and the combinations, but theory means little if it doesn't work in real life. So, Barbara, let's talk about what actually happens when people follow this vitamin routine correctly.
Absolutely. One case that comes to mind is Helen, a 67-year-old retired teacher. She had trouble sleeping, constant muscle cramps at night, and her last bone scan showed early signs of osteopenia. Her doctor had her on calcium and D3, but she wasn't improving.
And let me guess, she was taking everything at once, right?
Exactly, D3, calcium and magnesium all in the morning. Once we adjusted her routine, D3 and K2 with breakfast, magnesium glycinate before bed, everything shifted. After just 4 weeks, her leg cramps were gone and her sleep went from 4 5 hours to 7 solid hours. That kind of sleep improvement alone can kickstart healing. I've seen similar outcomes with many older patients, especially those dealing with chronic fatigue, low mood, or poor mobility. Another example is George, 72. He's an avid gardener but had trouble getting up after squatting or kneeling. His muscles felt stiff and he complained of brain fog. His magnesium levels were borderline low.
So what did you recommend?
Simple, 400 milligrams magnesium glycinate at night. Within 10 days, he noticed less stiffness. After 3 weeks, his balance improved. And the brain fog? Gone. Turns out it wasn't dementia, it was nutrient imbalance.
Which brings us to the real question. Who should be doing this routine?
If you're over 50 and you've noticed poor sleep, weak legs, slow recovery after exercise, or early signs of bone thinning, this routine is for you. It's also perfect for postmenopausal women, seniors with chronic stress, or anyone on long-term medication that depletes nutrients like statins, antacids, or diuretics. Even people with diabetes or prediabetes benefit because magnesium helps insulin sensitivity and D3 plus K2 support vascular health. But remember, this is not a magic pill, it's a consistent habit. Give it 4 weeks, stick to the correct timing, and pay attention to how your body responds.
Let's take a moment to recap everything we've covered. The goal wasn't just to talk about vitamins. It was to give people clarity. Magnesium glycinate, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2 are not dangerous. They're powerful, but only when taken with care, in the right form, and at the right time.
That's right. We saw how taking all three at once, especially on an empty stomach or at night, can cause issues. Magnesium may interfere with D3 absorption, and without K2 at the right time, calcium might not go where it needs to. That's why timing is everything. D3 and K2 in the morning with healthy fats, magnesium glycinate at night for deep sleep and muscle recovery. And what I love about this approach is it's not complicated. You don't need 20 different supplements, just 3 essentials working together with a clear schedule. You give your bones the structure, your muscles the recovery, and your nervous system the calm it needs to thrive after 50.
And it's not just for the elderly or those with osteoporosis. If you're someone who's been struggling with poor sleep, tight muscles, low mood, or feeling foggy, your body may be crying out for proper nutrient support. I want everyone listening to remember this. You are not too old to build strength. You are not too late to heal. You are not too far gone to reset your health. But it starts with habits. And tonight could be the night you begin.
One step at a time. Maybe tonight, start with just magnesium glycinate, 200 to 400 milligrams, about 45 minutes before bed. Notice how your sleep feels. Then add D3 and K2 in the morning. Small changes, big results.
And if this episode helped you, please share it with someone you care about. Maybe your spouse, a parent, or a friend who's struggling silently with symptoms they don't understand. And don't forget to hit that like button if you found value today. Subscribe to the channel for more health insights every week. We're here to help you live stronger, longer, one habit at a time.